Good morning. Time to make the coffee. Today's flavor is wild mountain blueberry. It's actual coffee. So I'm going to give that a try. The temperature today is going to be 88 degrees. Ugh, that's getting a little out of my Goldilocks zone. I don't really like it too much warmer than 82. Low 80s is fine as long as it's not too humid. So my neighbor just texted me this morning and said her thermostat broke and she cannot tolerate the heat at all. So she has to go to Home Depot this afternoon. She and I were always DIY gals. And she still is more than I am. She doesn't have all the joint problems and things that I have. So she's going to go to Home Depot and pick up a new thermostat and try and install it herself because our handyman is in Florida for 2 weeks with his girlfriend. So I hope he's having a good time. But apparently she's not. So I feel bad for her. What are you going to do? You know, things break. So it's always good to have 1 or 2 or 3 people handy that you can call, but that's not always easy to find. And, you know, the companies that do this for a living, a lot of them, they just price gouge like crazy. So, anyway, that's one of the downsides to getting older. Now, she does have 2 sons, but one of them lives in Pennsylvania, and the other one works crazy shifts. So neither one of them is available. But anyway, it's what happens, right? So I've got my Dollar Tree mug here. I like all their coastal decorations. I think they're really pretty, but I don't want to get into that, at least not right now. I thought at one point of maybe doing my bedroom in like a coastal look. I mean, we do live close to Lake Erie, but, you know, I'm tired of redecorating at this point. So I did redecorate my living room because of necessity. The dogs trashed my furniture, so I had to get new furniture for in there. So I figured, well, I went from old world to kind of a boho look, which is also kind of old world, but I'm enjoying that for now. And if they wreck the furniture again, because I got really cheap furniture this time, if they wreck the furniture again, then I'll see what other look I'll go into. Maybe I'll try a coastal look at some point. I don't know. We'll see. So that was Cinnabon Creamer. I thought that would go good with the Wild Mountain Blueberry. Cheers. Yep, it's good. So it's getting to be iced coffee weather. I've had a couple of iced coffees already this season. And really, this is the only time of the year where I drink iced coffee is in the late spring, summer, and early fall. Other than that, I pretty much like my hot coffee. And if I ever have coffee left over, which happens, sometimes I only drink half the cup in the morning, I'll save it and throw some ice cubes in it in the afternoon, a little more creamer, and make it what's left over iced coffee. So, all right, well, I still have a few flowers to plant. I better get to planting those this afternoon or this morning before it gets too hot. Tomorrow it's supposed to be hot again, I think 89. Yuck. So, I better get a move on and go look at my budget book over there, and I'll meet you over there. Right, here I am back at the budget book. So yesterday I did spend money. I ordered a couple things on Amazon. I need something for my YouTube, and I also ordered some ortho grass begone. It's supposed to not harm your plants, but it's supposed to kill the grass in between your plants. And it seems like I have a lot of patches where I have a ton of grass coming up, which is extremely annoying because you can't really pull it out because it just breaks off. It doesn't come out at the root. So yesterday I went out in the yard and in the front and did some checking out to see what the status was of my flower bed. And oh my God, you would not believe all the sticky weeds that were growing in between my plants. I got half a garbage can full of sticky weeds. So I'm sure I didn't get them all, but I wanted to get them before they bloom, because then they're even worse because they self-seed. And did you know those are edible? You can make a tea out of them, and I guess you can cook them and eat them. I know, weird, right? Now that's a meal that'll really stick with you. Oh boy. Anyhow, I got to get out in the garden and plant the rest of those few flowers, and then do a little more cleanup. I did a little bit yesterday, just hosed things off, some of my furniture out there. And actually today would be a good day for some water play. But I do need to get those flowers planted, but I have to decide where I want to put the rest of them. So I'll be glad when I get the garden all set up. I know they say to enjoy the journey, not just the destination, and I'm trying to do that. But when it's really hard work, sometimes it's kind of hard to find the joy in it unless it's something you absolutely love. I'm not a big, huge fan of heavy physical labor anymore. I don't mind working and getting things done, but heavy physical labor just really does a number on me. So I'm always glad when that's done and over with. And then I can just maintain it by, watering and things like that. And yesterday, my annoying hose that kept kinking up and curling up, the nozzle broke off. The actual part that's on the hose came off. So now I have a good reason to throw that in the trash and just carry on from there. I'm trying to find a hose. I have one of those expanding hoses, and that's pretty lightweight. I got it at Aldi's for $14, and so far I'm liking that. But I want to get something set up for the different zones in my garden so that I don't have to be dragging a hose along all the time. So I'm trying to figure that one out. I'd like one on the deck, one on the shared patio, and the garden part I can just hand water. So anyway, that's the plan for the watering system. I was going to put in some drip irrigation, and I might still do that for my garden. But if I get to it, I do. If not, well, then we'll see what happens. Because, like I said, next year I'm probably going to downsize the garden even more. I still want a nice eclectic garden. I enjoy the cottage garden look. So I know that's not for everybody because it's kind of more of a natural, wild look, but it's what I like. So anyway, that's my plan for the day. And if it gets too hot, I might go somewhere this afternoon. We'll see. Hopefully I'll get things done. All right. Well, it's a beautiful morning, low 70s. Let's take a look. Just a little peek into the garden. So the flowers I planted are doing fine. Everything is still blooming. My fountain is going, and my elephant ears are doing great. I'm so glad I brought them in. And as they grow, the leaves will start to get much bigger. So, hello, Mr. Fish. And my little birds. So welcome to my garden. And this one is doing nicely too, the mojito. These are actually, they like a lot of water, and some people plant them around ponds, so you don't want to let them get too dry. And the hostas are doing nicely. My buddy found some water. Is that tasty? Ugh, that part's not tasty. All right, let's take a look inside the garden. My fuchsias are doing nicely. They're so pretty. I've always liked fuchsias. And these have tons of buds. I think hummingbirds like fuchsia too. At least that's what I've heard. And these are very delicate. Awesome. I have to feed them. My wisteria is coming back, but it doesn't cover the whole deck anymore. I want to keep it confined to this area here. So, and I put my lemon tree outside. And there's the bird's nest. They're very busy in there. I feel bad for Mama Bird. Every time I come out here, she flies away. I haven't heard any little peepers in there yet. But let's continue on. Yes, the house is still green. So I like my little seating area here. And then here is my climbing rose that's finally climbing because the trees are gone, and it even has a few buds. So I tried to make it into like an arch. So this is what I planted yesterday. And I just tried to keep it simple. And yes, the cottonwood is starting to fly. Oh, once it gets going, it's just awful. So we live right near the airport. So there's a flight pattern right over the house pretty much. So at certain times of the day we have a lot of flights. And these are still doing well. So in the garden here, these two beds don't have anything in them that I want. I want to add some kale over here and still some greens. So this will be all my greens, and I'll put a screen house over that. My lettuces are doing fabulous. Those all seeded themselves. So I also planted these. I've never planted these before. I'm not sure what they are, but they're really pretty. I hope they do well. All the veggies that I've planted are doing well, but I do need to feed them. Haven't done that yet. These are doing well that I planted, and those should fill in the basket eventually. And then over here I planted these. I planted two of them, one there and one there. So this is another little seating area, and I want to work on this little fountain too. I've had that for years. Most of this stuff I've had for a very long time. I have another climbing rose over here. I don't remember what color it was. I think I planted 2 of them at one point, but only this one came back, and it's never grown like this before, of course, with the trees gone. Now my little red bud didn't die, it's coming back, but I do want to keep it more like a bush. It's an experiment. So I'm working on cleaning up this area, and I'll do that at the last thing. And then over there, those 2 planters, and I'll probably add another. I'm going to plant mint in those, so hopefully to keep the... And I'm going to spray the foundation with stuff for rodents. So that's in the plans. These are the flowers that I have left to plant. I moved my crane over here. These are doing well. I planted a hydrangea in here. I don't know how well it'll do. It's pretty shady here, but I planted a few flowers around it. And my cosmos is coming back. I want to plant a few more of those. I have some that seeded themselves, and those are different colors. So these seeded themselves, and I'll probably plant those in this garden too. Then I have my 2 little fruit trees. They're both apples. I need to get those in a pot. And I have my scraps bucket there, and my clematis is blooming. There's 2 different kinds here apparently, which I forgot, because they didn't bloom much either. I have this one, and I have this kind of double one. So that's nice. And this is so pretty this year, this rhododendron. The flowers are huge, and I'm really liking it. And we have a little spider visitor there. So anyway, it's looking better. I still have to clean up these things. Lizzie, what are you doing there? Oh, she smells the lettuce. So, all right, well, there's a quick overview of my, oh, and there's my buddy eating my lettuce. He's just tall enough to reach it. Oh boy, this is why I put everything behind a fence, because they like to eat the greens. So, anyway, everything's looking nice and green and plush. I have to fill up my bird feeder. These are perennials. I think they're Sweet William. They come back every year, and my strawberries are just growing everywhere. But I don't see too many strawberry blossoms. So, and then I have to clean this up yet. Buddy, why are you eating all my lettuce? He's having himself a salad bar. Is that a delicious salad bar? And Lizzie, she discovered that lettuce that planted itself. I have to get a new little solar. Oh, there he goes. See, this is what happens. I have to get a new little solar fountain, and I decided I'm just putting some fake Dollar Tree flowers in here because it's ceramic, and oh, he took the whole thing. What are you doing? Oh, for heaven's sakes, Chloe, look what they're doing. Look what they're doing. Yep, they make a mess everywhere. Anyway, I have to get a new little solar fountain, so I'll get that from Amazon. So I'm very happy with the way my garden's progressing, and the cleanup will be the last thing that I do. I'll clean up these things, I'll clean up my greenhouse, and a lot of you have suggested wet and forget, and I'm going to get some of that, and just to maintain the house, I think I can do that. But it's so bad that I really, for this season, I'm going to hire somebody, and hopefully that'll do the trick. All right, there's the progress on my garden, and we'll see how far I get today. He's gonna eat it all himself, isn't he, Lizzie? I wish you guys liked the weeds. Oh, all gone. Oh, there he goes. Lizzie's looking for some in here. No, 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 don't you eat the leaves on my cherry tree. Okay, come on guys, let's go in. Now that you made a mess. Something else to clean up. Come on guys, let's go. Come on babies. They're too interested in the lettuce. Oh boy, life with my dogs. I wouldn't want it any other way. All right, let's see. Mother bird is here. She's probably out hunting. Well, I'm finishing up my morning coffee. Cheers. I just finished my breakfast, and now I'm trying to decide which task I want to do. I think I need to do the flowers first. So, but first I'm going to make myself a list and finish my coffee. It takes me a while to get moving in the morning. I don't like to just, my feet hit the ground and I'm off and running. I like to ease my way into my tasks every morning, and that way it's not so stressful. All right, well, I've got some dishes to do, got a few things I need to put away. So I'm trying to keep my kitchen a little neater as I'm working in the garden. So my kitchen table is looking pretty good. I'm happy about that. It seems like whenever my kitchen table is in good shape, then I feel better. I don't feel like everything's so chaotic. Same with my living room. As long as my living room and kitchen are fairly straightened up, it makes me feel okay. So I try and do a little of that first thing in the morning, and that way when I go out and do what it is I need to do, I don't have to focus on, oh, I got to clean this in the house, I got to clean that in the house. I just can concentrate on what I need to do out there. So I made myself a list of what I still need to do in the garden. And a couple of you were asking what the status is with the HOA. So the Nastygram said to have everything on their list done by June 24th. So, and then I should call them and tell them that I've done everything you asked. Well, I'm not calling them. Let them follow up. Who narcs on themselves? Not me. So, anyway, a couple of the things that they suggested, I'm going to go ahead and do. I need to redo my fencing anyway. So, but that's kind of the last project that I'm going to do. So I will see if I can bring it in a little bit while I'm redoing it. And that was my plan anyway, even before I got the stupid Nastygram. was to, because it kind of curves out now, and I wanted to make it straighter, and over to the side it's got a lot of different jumbled things, so I need to clean that area up, and I wanted to make it a little more rectangular. So that was my plan anyway, but I probably won't have it done by June 24th. If I have it done by midsummer, I'll be happy. And if they don't like the pace I'm working at, I'm just going to say, well, you hire somebody to come and do it, and if I have to pay them, I will. So anyway, that's my plan with the HOA. I'm sure at some point, if I don't make a little bit of an effort, they'll probably start fining me. They can do that. And, you know, I'm not really in a big dither about it. It's like, well, whatever happens, happens. It's like, I'm going to downsize my garden anyway, so, you know, it is what it is. But I'm not going to let it cause me any stress. I don't think other people's priorities should cause you stress. You know, it's enough that you put pressure on yourself to get things done. I'm not going to allow other people to do that to me. You know, oh, you have to do this and you have to do that, and it's their priority and it's not mine. So it's like, okay, if it's reasonable, I'll get to it when I get to it. But I have things that are more pressing that I want to do for myself. Anyway, and yeah, some people say, well, you knew you had an HOA when you moved there, and, you know, whatever. And it's like, yeah, that's true. But, you know, my garden has been this way in various configurations for the whole 21 years I've lived here, and it's never been an issue. And if you want to come around and do your silly walkabout the first week of April when everything is still looking terrible and still snowing, and just because we have a nice day you come and do your walk around, well, sorry, then you're an idiot. But anyway, if I had just done this with my garden, like this year, you know, it's like, okay, I did something that I shouldn't do. But like I said, my garden has been this way in the back for 21 years. So now just because we get a new person that doesn't know shit from Shinola, excuse my French, it's going to be an issue. Well, I don't think that's right. But we'll see. You know, we'll see what happens. Like I said, I'm going to work at my own pace. I'm not going to get stressed about it. And if they don't like it, oh well, that's the way it goes. I mean, I don't want to be totally non-compliant. I know there's certain rules, but you know, you don't have to be that way about it. And when I moved here, I knew there was an HOA, but the fees were very reasonable, and they still are for the services we get. We have landscapers that, you know, will come in and mulch, and they mow, and they weed and feed the grass, not your garden bed. In the winter, they snow plow. So there's a lot of perks to having an HOA. And when I built this house, it was the thought in mind that this will be my retirement home. And if I need to, I can live on my first floor. I have a bathroom, I have my laundry room, I have the dining room, which really doesn't need to be a dining room anymore. I can convert that into a bedroom if need be. And my living room, that's all I need. So, and when I broke my hip, I actually kind of did live down here for over a year. I actually have a day bed in the living room, and my daughter keeps saying, oh, get rid of that, get rid of that. And my one grandson, he keeps going, no, don't get rid of it, don't get rid of it. And when the kids come over, they like to lounge around on there with their electronics and so. And it's already happened that when my mom spent the night here, I gave her my bedroom and I slept down here on the day bed, and it worked out just fine. So that's going to stay. But at some point I might get rid of a lot of my dining room furniture. I don't use my dining room anymore. If the family comes over, we all kind of go around the kitchen table. I don't know what word I'm looking for. But anyway, we all sort of stay in the kitchen, and all of us are like shoved in here. That's the way they like it, because they, I have a dining room table. Anybody can go there. But I put all my appetizers and everything on the kitchen table, and since it's round, everybody just kind of congregates. That's the word I was looking for, around the kitchen table. And I have a lot of stools. I put those around, the cupboards, and everybody just loves to just hang out in this room and just talk and have fun. And the kids usually go in the living room. They hang out with the dogs. So it works out fine, but nobody really goes in the dining room. I could put the appetizers out there, but it's kind of fun to just reach and eat what you want, right? So anyway, that was my plan when I built this house, was to make this my retirement home. So yeah, having an HOA has a downside, but I don't have to worry about who's going to cut my grass. And my garden is not in the way of the landscapers. Actually, that's kind of what they said, we don't want the landscapers to have to do any more work because you want a garden. And that was fine, but the way I have it set up, whether they weed whack right behind my house, which is what they do with most of the houses here, or whether they weed whack around the fencing that I have, it's all the same work. One isn't any different than the other. They don't have to do a thing in my backyard garden. So I take care of all the mulching myself, all the weeding myself, and it just takes a little time in the spring to get it all done. So whatever I do next year, I'm certainly not going to be going out there in April when it's freezing cold, but I'll start working on it in May and June and see how far I get. And if they want to follow up, well, go ahead. I'm not going to call you and let you know that I did ABC. So anyway, I'm going to get going now, get myself dressed, go do a little bit more work in the garden, and see how far I get. So, all right, my friends, that's all I have for you today. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you, and I'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. It helps my channel grow. Don't forget to share, and thanks for watching.